We all get intimidated by others from time to time. Sometimes it's just accidental, like people don't even mean to do it. And sometimes, well, let's be real, it's totally intentional. While we may not realize it, there are certain types of people who can have a huge influence on how we feel, even if they don't mean to. One of those types is the Sigma male, a rare breed of men who is private and mysterious yet often misunderstood. Sigma men are independent and don't need validation from others, which can give off an air of superiority, even if that's not their intention. They usually keep a low profile and don't seek the spotlight, so it can be hard to truly know what's going on inside their heads. This can make them intimidating as people usually don't know what to expect from them. Sigma males march to the beat of their own drum and live life on their own terms, which can be inspiring, yet also a little scary. While many people may be attracted to this type of person, others can end up feeling intimidated just by being around them. But what exactly is it that makes them so intimidating? 1. They're too different. Sigma men think differently, act differently, and live differently. These men don't follow the herd mentality that is so common in society today. They have their own values and beliefs and don't bend to social norms or expectations. They are confident in their choices and don't feel the need to prove themselves to anyone else. The problem is that society doesn't want people who don't abide by the rules, so anyone who dares to be different and question the status quo can be seen as a threat. Most people don't think for themselves and fear anyone that does. While this fear may be unfounded, it's still real, and it can be intimidating. There's a saying that goes, "The world steps aside for the man who knows where he is going." Sigma males certainly fit that description, and it's not hard to see why they can be intimidating. People are used to seeing the world from a certain perspective, so when someone comes along with a completely different way of life and thinking, it can be overwhelming. Even if Sigma men feel pressure to conform, they won't back down from their beliefs, no matter how much others disagree or try to change them. This kind of independence can be intimidating to those who are used to being told what to do and how to think. While differences can be inspiring, too much difference can create distance and feelings of intimidation. People are not used to such a rare personality, so they can be scared by the unknown. 2. They are brutally honest, no matter how uncomfortable it may be. While Sigma men value honesty, they also realize that it can be a double-edged sword. The truth can sometimes hurt, but they don't shy away from saying what needs to be said. These men are not afraid of hard conversations or uncomfortable topics, and they won't sugarcoat anything to make things easier. They will tell people the truth even if it means upsetting them, because they believe that honesty is the only way to build trust and respect. This can be intimidating for those who are used to being coddled and treated with kid gloves. For some people, it can be hard to handle someone who is not afraid to tell it like it is. This is not about being cruel or unkind. It's about being honest and real. Sigma males say what needs to be said, not what people want to hear. While some people don't like this, many come to them for advice because they know they will get an unbiased opinion. 3. They break the rules and don't follow blindly. Many believe that Sigma men are just rebellious for the sake of being rebellious. But that's not true at all. These men are actually quite analytical and questioning people, so they have no problem challenging authority or the status quo if they feel like something isn't right. They won't follow blindly just because it's how things are done, but instead look at each situation objectively and make their own decisions. This can be intimidating to those who are used to having their orders followed without question. People may think that Sigma men don't respect authority, but they just recognize when something isn't right and will speak up about it. While this kind of courage can be intimidating, it can also put them at odds with those in positions of power. The key is to recognize when it's essential to stand up for your beliefs and when it's better to go along with the crowd. You need to strike a balance between the two, aiming to remain true to your convictions while still being respectful and dignified. 4. They are private, independent, and don't need anyone's approval. People usually don't understand why Sigma men like to keep so much distance between themselves and others. They can be very private people who are not interested in small talk or chit-chat, nor do they feel the need to share every aspect of their life with everyone. They may appear mysterious because of this, but it's just a way for them to protect themselves from getting hurt. These men don't need anyone's approval, and they are perfectly okay on their own. This kind of independence can be intimidating to those who are used to relying on the validation of others. It's like a foreign concept to them, but one that they should learn to appreciate. An independent and self-reliant man can teach us so much about strength and resilience. He may come off as intimidating at first, but his confidence and sense of self will be admirable in the long run. He doesn't let anyone else dictate how he should live his life, and doesn't feel the need to justify his decisions or explain himself to anyone else. This is why people may think of him as aloof or distant. He usually has a small circle of trusted friends and family, but for the most part he prefers to keep to himself. 5. They have a strong sense of integrity and justice. While many people may talk about honesty and integrity, Sigma men live by it. They are the type of men who will always do what's right, no matter the cost. They have a strong moral compass and won't hesitate to call out wrongdoings or injustices. Sigma men don't like bullies, and they value fairness and justice above all else. They are not afraid to speak up against bad behavior from their peers or authority figures, even if it goes against their interests. This can intimidate those used to getting away with bad behavior or taking advantage of others. We often think of Sigma men as strong, silent types who keep their feelings to themselves. But in reality, these guys have a lot of passion and emotion. They are very loyal people and expect the same level of loyalty from others. If they feel betrayed or lied to, they will immediately cut ties and not look back. They are also very matter-of-fact people, so don't expect them to sugarcoat anything. If they think something isn't right, they will say it to someone's face. This kind of directness can be intimidating, making people feel uncomfortable or even embarrassed. People who don't handle criticism well may find Sigma men too intense and unforgiving. This doesn't mean they are rude, they just don't have any patience for anyone who tries to take advantage of them or their loved ones. They will defend what is right and stand up for their beliefs no matter the cost, even if that means standing alone. Sigma men may seem intimidating at first, but once you get to know them, they usually turn out to be the most loyal people around. 6. They're very intelligent and quiet. Many often underestimate Sigma men's intelligence because they appear quiet and unassuming. But don't be fooled by their silent demeanor. These guys are incredibly smart and observant. They are very good at reading people and situations and don't miss details. Their minds are always working, soaking up information and analyzing it to figure out the truth. They are analytical and logical, so their decisions are rarely made on impulse or emotion. While this can be intimidating to those not used to such thoughtful consideration, it can be a breath of fresh air for those who value intelligence and wisdom. Sigma males also tend to keep their thoughts to themselves, making them look aloof or detached from the situation. They don't like small talk and have no interest in idle conversation, so they may seem distant or uninterested if someone talks about the weather or the latest gossip. This can be harsh to those who are expecting a more polite and gregarious kind of interaction. If you are looking for a deep and meaningful conversation, then Sigma males are the ones to talk to. They may take time to warm up, but they will surprise you with their insight and wisdom once they open up. 7. They're really confident and have a strong presence. Have you ever noticed how some people just seem to have a certain presence about them? It's like they have an energy that commands respect. It's not something they do on purpose. It just seems to come naturally. Sigma men have a quiet confidence that makes them stand out without even trying. They don't need to be loud or boisterous. Their strength comes from within and radiates from them in a subtle but powerful way. People may see it as arrogance or even conceit, but really it is just a sign of internal confidence and self-assurance. That's why many Sigma men keep a low profile and don't try to draw attention to themselves. They just know they have this inner power and understand that it's better to let actions speak louder than words. Many women are drawn to this kind of strength and security and find it very attractive. 8. They don't show emotions easily. It's not that Sigma men don't have emotions, they just don't express them openly. They have a stoic nature and prefer to keep their feelings private. While they understand why emotions are so important, they don't feel the need to show them off. They can be very loyal and caring to their loved ones, but they usually don't wear their hearts on their sleeves. Many people find this kind of behavior intimidating, as they don't know how to read him or what he's thinking. It can be hard to tell if he is upset or happy, making people feel like he doesn't care about them. But that's not true. Sigma men just have a different way of expressing themselves. They don't need drama or grand gestures to show their love. They simply prefer small moments of closeness and understanding. They often have the so-called poker face, but deep down, they have a heart of gold. They just don't always show it. While they are not the most expressive type of person, they usually make up for it with loyalty and dedication. 9. They speak their minds and won't back down. It happens to us all at some point. We meet someone who speaks their mind without caring about what others think. It's like they don't even notice your presence, as if you weren't even in the room. This is usually how Sigma men come across. They are outspoken and won't back down from speaking their truth, especially if they feel like someone is trying to manipulate them. This can make people feel really uncomfortable, like they're being judged or criticized for their opinions. While it's true that Sigma men are quite honest and direct with their words, they usually just want to get the point across as quickly and clearly as possible. This isn't about trying to put someone down or make them feel bad. It's about avoiding misunderstandings and getting right to the point. They don't like wasting time beating around the bush and would rather just get to the truth. Sigma males are usually quiet and don't need troubles, but they won't back down if someone tries to push them. This will make them appear intimidating if you don't understand the motives behind their actions. But if you can look past the surface, you will see that they just want to keep things honest and clear. 10. They're often respected and admired. While alpha males may get the most attention, Sigma men are often truly admired and respected. People are fed up with the showy attitude and bravado that many alpha men display and are looking for something more real. Sigma men provide that realness, as they don't need to put up a facade or pretend to be someone they're not. This honest and genuine approach is something that many people appreciate, which is why they often develop a strong sense of respect for Sigma men. They may not always be the life of the party, but they're certainly the ones who are seen as reliable and trustworthy. People will often turn to them for advice or help because they know that Sigma men will have their best interests in mind. This kind of respect is something that many strive for, and it's a testament to just how powerful the silent strength of Sigma men can be. 11. They don't take crap from anyone and won't put up with nonsense. If someone tries to play games or mess with a Sigma, they won't get far. These men can smell BS from a mile away and won't put up with any nonsense. They have zero tolerance for people trying to take advantage of or manipulate them in some way. While they don't look for fights, they will stand their ground if someone messes with them. This can be super intimidating, as it almost seems like Sigma isn't scared of anything. But really, they just know their worth and won't stand for any kind of mistreatment. It's like a warning sign to anyone trying to take advantage of them, and it's usually enough to make the other person back off. Sigma men don't like to start fights, but they won't be afraid to finish them if need be. You may think that the quiet Sigma in the corner of the room is just a pushover, but don't be fooled. He is observing and processing everything that is going on, making him one of the most powerful people in the room. He just wants to stay in the background without drawing too much attention to himself. So never underestimate the silent nature of a Sigma man. He may not be the loudest or the most outspoken, but he will certainly make his presence known when it counts.